I'm Davy, and I'm awesome! And welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. So this week, I've talked about in the past the many times I've worked with customers and the many annoying things customers have done and said and how I responded, and honestly pat myself on the back for them. But this week, I'm going to go a different route. When you are as sarcastic and irritable as I am, which I freely admit I'm very sarcastic and extremely irritable, sometimes you say things that you later realize you're the one that went too far. However, oftentimes when that happens, they still make funny stories. So I'm going to tell you about a few incidences where I admit, my bad. The first time, I was working at a gas station. And at this gas station, the law of the state was, for somebody to buy alcohol or tobacco, they had to reasonably look over the age of 27. To round it up, they said 30. Somebody comes in, wants to buy alcohol, they have to reasonably look over the age of 30. This girl came up with a friend and a six-pack. And not only would I have to card her, but I'd have to card the person with her, because they were close enough in age to where it was clear that that girl was not a daughter or something, but a friend. So they walked up, they put the beer on the counter, and I just simply said, okay, if she's with you, I'm going to need to see her ID. And the thing was, what makes me feel really bad about this is that this customer didn't give me any problems. None. Neither of them. They were actually very nice, very accommodating. The girl she was with pulled out her ID, handed it to me, I'm looking at it, but the girl paying says, oh wow, I must come in here enough. They usually card me. Now here's the thing, that wasn't the case. I didn't recognize her, she wasn't a regular as far as I knew, so as she handed me her card to pay, I was just sitting there like, oh no, it's just that we don't have to card people if they reasonably look over the age of 30. To which she looked at me and said, I'm 24. Is this debit or credit? So yeah, I just kind of ran it through, gave her receipt, and felt really bad. I didn't mean to insult her, I didn't mean to say that, but she apparently wasn't aging very well. At the next incident, I was working at a store. A couple came up with a vacuum cleaner, claiming that that vacuum cleaner was supposed to be $40 cheaper according to the sticker on the shelf. Now, in most stores I've worked at, if the price difference you're talking about is $1 or $2, we probably won't make a big deal out of it, we'll just give it to you. But when it's like $40, we can't just sit there and give it to you. We got to make sure that not only was that true, but that it was our fault. And the person who had done the price check came back and said, there's no proof that that was in the wrong spot, because the spot they're talking about has nothing in it. The spot where the rest of those are labeled correctly. So I informed of that. I said, sorry, can't change the price. But it was in the wrong spot. Okay, but according to the person that just did the check, the rest of them are in the right spot. So, not saying you're lying, but could have just been another customer picked it up, said, I don't want this, and put it there, and we can't adjust a $40 price difference over somebody else being a jerk. Yes, you can. No, I can't. Yes, you can. No, I can't, because again, this isn't like $1 or $2. You want me to give you a $40 discount over something that cannot be verified that was our fault. It's not happening. Well, I want to speak to a manager. Here was the thing, though. Ma'am, I am the manager. No, you're not. This isn't one of those sketches where people say that just to get out of something. No, I really was. That was my area. I was only ringing them up to help with the lines. She kept arguing with me even when I pointed at the part of my badge that said manager on it. Well, fine. If you're a manager, you can fix it. Yeah, but I'm not gonna. Well, there must be somebody higher up than you. I want to talk to them. Okay, so you want me to waste somebody else's time who's just going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you. We're not going to give you $40 off of this when there's nothing clear that it was our fault that it was in the wrong spot. Okay, when I tell you to do something, you do it. Excuse me? You heard me. Yeah, I did hear you. But you need to get a reality check here. I don't do what you tell me to do. I don't work for you. Now, if you really want me to waste my boss's time and have them come up here, I will. But if you talk to me like that again, you'll be thrown out. Fine. Sorry. Now, none of that I regret. But at that point, I had a little radio, I got on it, I called the person higher up than me to come up, who, spoilers, did say the same thing I said. But also got an earful over the next comment. See, she was sitting there talking with her husband, in a lower voice, but as if I couldn't hear her right in front of me. And I heard her say, "Can't believe he talked to me that way. Nobody talks to me like that. Can you believe he talked to me like that? Even you don't talk to me like that. The last time you did talk to me like that, I didn't speak to you for like a week." And as soon as I heard her say that, I couldn't stop myself. Out loud, I said, "Best week of his life." Now, I really don't feel bad about insulting her. That's not where I went too far. What I feel bad about was her husband, who after I said that went, "Oh, seriously? Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, apparently I got him in a lot of trouble. My bad." And then finally, for the last story, we got to go back to the gas station. For a little while working at this gas station, I was actually working on the weekends. I was covering the normal overnight guy working overnight, which was fine. Boring, but fine. And this was a gas station in California. And like I've talked about before, some states have different laws. In the state of California, alcohol cannot be purchased between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. I don't know why this law is in effect, and I really don't care. The one thing that did make me care about this law is the fact that it would never fail that every time, sometime after 2 a.m., somebody would want to buy alcohol because they were not paying attention to what time it was. And almost every time, thought they could argue with me and get it. And this particular night was no different. These two girls came in, went to the coolers where we keep our cold beers and stuff, and couldn't get into them because we locked them, of course. In fact, at this particular gas station, what I was told working the overnights was once it's 1:45, the second you have a chance, you have to go over there and lock them, and then that's it. Basically, take care of the customers I might have at the moment, but at some point when I get it down, go over there. If it gets to 1:55, whether I have customers or not, I have to excuse myself and go lock those doors, and I cannot reopen them. And then even the register itself, if somebody tried to grab one of the non-cold alcohols that we have on the shelf that we can't lock up, the register wouldn't let me sell it. But even though it was after 2 a.m., these girls came in, went to the coolers, couldn't get them open. So instead of just accepting that, oh, it's after 2 a.m., let's go home, they came up to me, and immediately my thought was, dang it, because I knew how this was going to go. "It's not after 2 a.m., is it?" "Yeah, it is. It's actually 2:11 at the moment." "Okay, so it's not like it's far past 2 a.m. "No, but it is after 2 a.m. "So you really can't sell it to us?" "Nope, I'm sorry. Between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. I can't sell alcohol." "But we're over 21. "The issue at this point isn't your age, ladies. It's after 2 a.m. Once it's 2 a.m., we can't sell alcohol." "There's no cops outside." "I understand that, but it doesn't matter. I'm not allowed to sell you alcohol after 2 a.m. If I do, even if a cop doesn't see, I could lose my job, and I'm not going to lose my job. I'm sorry. You guys should have gotten here about 20 minutes ago." "But it's only a little after 2 a.m. "Miss, it doesn't matter if it's way past 2 a.m. or if it's 2 a.m. exactly. At 2 a.m., I cannot sell alcohol again until 6 a.m. There's nothing I can do about it. I didn't make this law, but I have to obey it or I can get a fine, maybe even jail time, and lose my job. And sorry, ladies, I'm not going to do any of that for the two of you." Then the other girl decides to speak. Wait. I got an idea." Oh no. Because no customer ever came up with a good idea on how to get me to sell them alcohol. Ever. Never worked. As I'm sitting there, bracing myself for whatever she's going to say, says to me, "Will you sell us beer if we show you our boobs?" Okay, now before I tell you what I said, let's clear two things up. Number one, I am a man like any other man. I like girls, but no pair is worth losing my job, making it so that I can't pay my bills and end up on the street. No pair is worth potentially going to jail because depending on the situation, you can face jail time for doing that in California. And number three, the fine for doing that was a minimum of $25,000. There is no pair out there. No pair worth $25,000. That's point number one. Point number two, these girls were not what you would call lookers. Obviously, by them saying that, plus the way they were dressed, they thought of themselves that way, but they were not. So they definitely were not worth any of the previously mentioned things. So without thinking about it, I just blurted out, Sweetheart, you'd have to let me drink a few of those beers before I'd want to see either of you. And it did not end well. I can't reenact what happened. Let's just say it resulted in a lot of obscenities, a lot of anger, and a bunch of Altoid tins that were on display in front of the register being thrown at me. So yeah, these are a few times that I will admit I went a little too far. Could have just not said anything. The girl that looked over 30 but wasn't, I should have just went, oh yeah. The Karen who was mad at me for having the balls to stand up for myself, should have just said nothing. And these two not Bettys that felt that they could get beer by displaying themselves to me, I should have just simply said, no, sorry, not worth it. But even though what I said was a little messed up, it was a lot funny. So there you have it, that's my story this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos, and leave a comment. Tell me about a few times that you have to look back and go, you know what? My bad. Love you guys.